So this video is going to be about changing the variable valve timing actuator on a 2014 Subaru WRX STi hatchback, the last of the model years with the STi hatchback. So the problem I've had is P0024 bank B timing over advance, and after doing some reading on this, it looks like it could have been caused by low oil, which I actually did have, but I've also changed the oil, made sure it's good now, and it's still throwing the same fault on the computer, so I'm going to try to replace it. So what I've done is I've bought a variable valve timing solenoid. This thing actually controls the oil pressure, which makes the variable valve timing actuate. So when you get to a certain RPM or load and it needs to change to a different cam timing mapping, this is actually what forces the oil pressure to change, which then changes the variable valve timing. So I'm going to pop this in. So what I've done is I have removed the oil filler tube, which left me with three bolts, two for the tube and one for a support bracket. And then once you've done that, you can see that down here you're left with the hole where the oil filler tube was, and then next to it is the actual thing we're going to replace itself. So right here. So I've already removed the plug. The plug is this little blue plug here. It's 2 pins. I've checked to make sure that I've got the right one when I've ordered mine. I just ordered mine off the internet. I didn't really pay any attention to any particular brand. It cost me $40. Yeah, $40 for this valve. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove it. If you look at the new one, the only thing that holds it in place is the one bracket at the top, and then you see inside there's an oil ring, like a rubber O-ring. So the rubber O-ring is at this point the only thing holding it in place. So I'm just going to remove it. There we go. That was easy. And then pull this thing back. And okay, so first problem, it won't come all the way back because there's a hose in the way. So it looks like I'm going to have to remove this oil, this hose here, oil or coolant, I don't know which one. I actually do have a little bit of oil seeping out as well from where this thing is, so I'll try and get this done quickly. All right, so looks like that's my job for now. Okay, so I was able to remove the hose pretty easily. I used a set of long pliers to just grab the clip on the tube, pull it up, and then pull it on the pipe. And it turns out that pipe is, well, I still don't know what it is exactly, but it did not send fluid all over the place. But once that was removed, it's actually easy to just pull back, and the old variable valve timing solenoid is removed. So I'm going to stick this over here, and I've opened up my new one. So this is the new one. Looks pretty much the same as the old one. Don't know, I didn't match part numbers or anything. This one is well, yeah, it's got a little engraving on it, VVTS for variable valve timing system. 1803. I'm going to guess that this one is not. This is the Subaru original part. Has nothing on it. Anyway, so new one goes back in. Trying to do this with one hand is Not as easy, but there we go. Okay, and it should just kind of, I pulled it out with a screwdriver, so I should feel some resistance. Oh, there we go. Positive click. Okay, so I just realized that I'm definitely, yes, I am definitely missing a screw. I thought I'd lost a bolt. I thought one clip fell down inside, and now that is definitely true because there should be 3 for the oil filler tube, and I do not have 3 bolts. I only have 2. I did that bit last night, and I heard one of the bolts fall down, so that's going to be my last job. Okay, so then I should be able to put this this hose back on. Okay, that's gone. Grab these, the long pliers. There we go. Easy. Alright, that's that back on. And then finally the clip, and then it'll just be a case of putting the oil tube back on. So I actually before this, I did not know that the oil filler tube was a plastic piece that you could take off, but obviously it is. So my last job is just to put this back on, bolt it on. I'm missing a bolt. I'm gonna have to look down onto my covers. I didn't take the bottom cover off because I knew I could access this from the top. So I'm gonna take that cover off, find my bolt, finish the job off, and then I'll report back on whether this fixes my issue. Thanks for listening. Okay, so the job is done. Just wanted to show you what it looks like when it's been put back together again, and maybe mention a few things that you might see that are different if you have an unmodified 2014 STi, although chances are yours has been modified too, because you know, not many of them around, I guess, that haven't been modified. But this one's had the secondary air injector removed, so if you see something here that looks like a black plastic tube, that could be the secondary air injector that my car had deleted a few years ago. This stuff here, by the way, you won't see. This is additional fuel injection stuff. This is actually for an E85 conversion, so this car can run on ethanol, blow-off valve. But obviously the thing we're interested in here is this connector here has been reconnected. The 3 bolts have been put back on again. There was 3. There's 1 here for the bracket, 1 here for the oil filler tube, and then another one on the opposite side. Those tend to fall out and end up on your plastic underbody tray, and then they can be a little bit of a pain. So it took me most of the time in doing this job was finding the bolts after they'd fallen on the floor. But that's that done. So this is for an EJ25. That is the number 2 bank, or B bank. If you have a problem that is for bank 1 or bank 2, the equivalent part is here. You can actually see the top of the bracket there. Or at least I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Obviously I can't see all of it because there's some shielding stuff that's in place. I think we would have to remove a little bit more. Also, you'd have to, well, you may not have this here. This would be where the airbox would be. So that, I think for the other side, for bank 1, bank A, which has a different fault code, 0024 is only for bank B. There is a similar one for bank A, for bank 1, so we would have to pull this off, and I think that would be a little bit trickier, but hopefully not too bad. So I'm going to run the car. This issue really only occurred when the engine was coasting, so like on the expressway or going at a constant speed, because that would be when the variable valve system would be under low load conditions, and it wasn't able to actually change the cam positions, so that happened, and that's why it was throwing that error. So we're going to see if this fixes it, and I will get back to you and let you know if this works. Thanks, bye.